What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 29 of Some Kind of Podcast. As always, this is a podcast where we entertain you by discussing what entertains us. I'm your host, Christian, and joined always by the amazing Cody.
Oh, hey.
The breathtaking Tim, changed it this time.
I'm breathtaking. Hey.
And the unforgettable Steven.
Hey.
We are ready to talk your ears off about everything we love about the entertainment industry. As a quick reminder, next week we will be recording a special episode of Some Kind of Podcast that we have tentatively named Toasty Twos, our own rendition of the internet series known as Hot Ones. For those who don't know, it's the show where you eat wings, supremely hot sauces on them that continuously keep getting hotter and hotter while you answer questions and attempt to keep up a conversation. Cody was nice enough to order the official set, and I, for one, cannot wait to see how we all handle this. It's going to be a rough one.
Badly.
It's safe to say this will be a little bit explicit in the curse word department, so please tune in and have a few laughs with us as you watch us struggle along through that process. But just be warned, and apologies in advance for a bit of profanity.
If Cody said was going to go through and
I'm gonna
bleep it.
I'm gonna try. I'm going to try and edit and censor as much as I can. There's a fair chance that I'm gonna miss some because it just depends.
Well, anyways, you've been warned, so if he misses some, it's on you. Not you, Cody, but you, listener. Anyways, so for this week in the entertainment industry, there's been a few items of interest released, really just kind of in the Marvel universe. First off, the movie Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Also need to make a statement. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. It's Shang-Chi, apparently. All the Disney marketing and all throughout the movie, so apologies for that. That hit theaters on September 3rd. Marvel's What If series on Disney Plus released its third episode called What If Doctor Strange Lost His Heart Instead of His Hands. We will be chatting length about both of those today on today's episode. But before we get into that, let me start with a spoiler warning for both Shang-Chi and Marvel's What If. If you haven't seen either of those, I do recommend that you stop listening now and come back later once you have. So without further ado, on to some EXP grind. Guys, what's everyone been up to? Let's start with you, Steven.
Well, he watched episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4 of What If.
Yeah.
I was messing with sorry.
Did watch What If. I started rewatching Letterkenny.
Nice.
Your patter.
Let's get at her. I need to watch the newest seasons, but I was like, might as well just rewatch the whole thing since it's so short. So I've been watching that. I have kind of been all over the place playing stuff. I started back on Horizon Zero Dawn, still trying to beat it. Hopefully you can stick with it this time. I've also been going back to Monster Hunter Stories 2, playing some of the new content that was dropped. A couple new monsters came out.
What are they?
They are Soulseer, Mizutsune, and Elder Frost Gammoth.
Nice.
So usually like the newer versions of the monsters always have some kind of like cool little either different color pattern or feature to them. Like this one that came out before called Bolt Reaver Astalos, where it's like a big black dragon and it can make green electricity appear on its wings. But this one already has the green electricity, so when it powers up again, it turns it blue, which is just kind of cool. I started No More Heroes 3. I stopped, though, just because I kind of wasn't feeling it at the moment, but I would like to dive back into it. Played some more Tribes of Midgard, beat the Saga boss. Other than that, that's it.
So on the Tribes of Midgard conversation, now that you have beaten that boss and have a little bit more of, I guess, what was intended to be what the experience that you had in the game, do you like it a little bit better than our last, how we last left it?
Yeah, because it's still just something I can just hop into and don't have to put hardly any like thought process into it. That and kind of getting to know like what should be built first and what should all get done as soon as possible definitely is starting to help it.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't mind giving it another go. I'm still a little bit salty myself, but not so much at this point. It's been enough time removed from our last try that I wouldn't mind giving another go.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm so salty.
I'm pretty salty on that game. I'm gonna be real.
I think even if you beat the Saga boss, I think Fimbulwinter still comes on day 15, but I can't confirm that.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's so much to do in that game, and only you and you 50. We talked about this last week. Go listen to that.
Tim, you want to go next?
Sure, man. Let's see. What have I been doing? What have I been doing? What have I been doing? I started,
Real life news.
Well, okay. Well, yeah. I got a new job. So, I got a new job. I don't know why.
Yay!
I got a new job, so I'm leaving my current job at Ye Old Movie House, and I'm moving back towards where Cody and Steven are. So picked a great time to move away, Christian. So that's cool.
Hey, I'm still not that far. I'm only like 2 hours, 10 minutes away rather than like 15. So
that's not too bad. I mean, I'm 3.5. So, yeah, that did that. That was the big kind of news personally for me this week. But beyond that, I actually haven't watched Critical Role this week because it's been kind of a weird week. Been kind of busy. Haven't had a chance to really kind of sit down and do it. But I can tell you one thing that I did for sure that I know that I can talk about. I started playing Ghosts of Tsushima, the PS5 edition, because I don't know why I didn't play it on the PS4 or even before now, because I'm really enjoying it. And I don't know why I didn't enjoy it before. If I'm being like, as I'm playing it, I'm like, I don't know why I stopped playing this the first time.
In your defense, you did try, or you did play a bit on the PS4, right?
Yeah. We did once the Legends thing came out. I know I played a little bit with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I didn't get into it. Maybe I just wasn't in the right headspace. That's the only thing I can think of, is that I just wasn't in the right headspace, or maybe I was more focused on playing something else when the game came out.
Maybe.
I don't really know, but I'm really enjoying it. And I understand why you guys like rate it so high. I think, Christian, it might be your favorite game now.
Yep.
It's like my number 2.
Yeah. I think yours, because yours is the remake.
Yeah, remake. Final Fantasy VII in general will always be number 1.
I don't know about you, Steven, if you play Ghost of Tsushima, right?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So I'm really enjoying it. I haven't gotten too far in the actual story because I'm one of those people that's like, oh my god, what's this shiny thing over here? I gotta know what all the question marks are. So I haven't gotten too far. I'm still in Act 1. And like, I realized, like, as I was running around this island, I was like, this island's huge. And then I realized that above it, there's like even a bigger island. And I was like, I'm gonna be playing this game for forever.
The game, what's nice about the game, it's broken up into those acts, and as you're exploring in Act 1, there'll become like a bottleneck point where, like, once you've finished exploring that first initial area, you'll have to go progress in the story.
And I think that's where I am, because everything else, like, it won't let me into it.
Yeah.
So sorry, I mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. No, yeah, keep trucking along. You need to join us in Legends.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, that's mainly what I've been doing, is playing that. I play a little bit of 14, but I needed to take a break, not because I didn't want to play it anymore, but because I ran out of Rested EXP. So I need to get that back. That's how you level. So I'm taking about a week break, and then I'll probably play for a little bit before I have to move and take a week break from everything. Maybe even there might be a week where I can't even do this podcast, just a heads up. So
it's understandable. Moving is a pain.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been doing pretty much. It's been kind of a crazy week because I haven't watched any Critical Role or anything, and I can tell I haven't been watching it because I'm like, oh, I forgot that I'm not watching this right now. But it's just because I've been focused on Ghost of Tsushima, and then all the stuff with trying to figure out, uprooting my life and changing my whole work ethic, and the next month or so is going to be a little stressful, but I'll get back into it. So anyway, Cody, or you Christian.
Go for it, Cody.
Yeah, I watched episode 4 of What If.
Oh, I did that too. And Shang-Chi. I did that.
And Shang-Chi.
Sorry. I'm gonna do that like 8,000
I'm
times.
gonna keep saying Shang.
Yeah.
Shang probably.
I'm also playing Ghost of Tsushima. I'm going through a new game plus, and I've been playing Legends.
You got the plat, right? You and Chris
Yeah. I got the
You
platinum.
got platinum, Steven?
I did, yeah.
It's not a hard platinum to do.
Essentially, it's one of those things where it's kind of like, the game that Steven's playing that he just mentioned, Horizon, where you just have to kind of do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been playing that and Legends. I have no desire to play Tribes of Midgar right now. I've been rewatching The Walking Dead. I think we briefly talked about that last week.
Yeah.
I think I'm somewhere in season 5 now. But I'm also like skipping through a lot of the episodes because like I know what happens and I just kind of want to get to certain points in the show.
I've done that in rewatches before.
Not
on The Walking Dead, like the other shows, because I don't really want.
I'm up to the point where Abraham shows up, and he's one of my favorite characters.
Oh, that's the redheaded dude.
Yeah, it's Blake.
Yeah.
Nobody listening to this probably knows who Blake is, but
It's Blake.
It's Blake. Yeah, other than that, I haven't really done a whole lot, just work. So, what about you, Christian?
Cool. Yeah, I'm really enjoying playing some more Ghost of Tsushima. Honestly, with that PS5 upgrade, I was kind of looking for an excuse to play that game anyway again. So even if they hadn't given you like the save transfer, free platinum, essentially upgrade to the PS5, I probably would have redone it. The thing about Ghost of Tsushima, I think that really clicked with me is that I've been playing Assassin's Creed since the beginning of the franchise, and essentially this game in its first installment became what I've always wanted Assassin's Creed to be. And I still stupidly hang on to the Assassin's Creed franchise, hoping that it'll turn into essentially Ghost of Tsushima. So that's why I just love it so much. Also, just feudal Japan's pretty great.
Yeah.
Are they doing a sequel? They're probably doing a sequel, are they?
Pretty sure.
I think they are.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
I think this is like their new flagship franchise. The first one did really well. So
if they keep doing stuff like that, I don't blame them.
Yeah. Especially since they went through the hassle of bringing the director's cut to the PS5. I think that's kind of a proof that like it's doing pretty well, or did pretty well when it launched on the PS4. So yeah, really enjoying playing through Legends. Tried out the new Rivals mode. I didn't think I'd like it. And to be honest, it's not like, my go-to when playing the multiplayer in there, but it's for a 2v2 mode. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's
not
not
bad.
exactly what you would consider, because essentially it's PvE, and then it's the first one to rack up enough points, and then you're also kind of like screwing each other over at the same time. So it is cool. It's like a different spin on a multiplayer mode that I probably wouldn't have otherwise played.
Yeah.
Had I not been so tempted, just because it was in one of my favorite games. Outside of that, I did play a couple like smaller games. I don't know if you guys had seen it on the PlayStation Store, and I think it's on probably like PC and a bunch of other stuff as well. But it's called Last Stop. It's like a narrative-based game. I played it on the PS5. Basically, just think of like what if Twilight Zone was extremely British. You play like 3 different characters, and you go through these different events, and you just kind of follow along through their lives. It's cross between like a Telltale game and I don't know, like Twilight Zone. And a bunch of weird stuff starts happening. I won't waste a bunch of time explaining it, but it was pretty cool. It was like, I think like $25 on the PSN. And I was kind of wanting a game to play that wasn't going to take too long to get through. So I thought it was a worthy investment. I enjoyed it. I'm probably will never touch it again, honestly, now that I've beaten it. And then I very briefly tried out Super Animal Royale on PS5. Basically, it's in the name. So you play, it's a battle royale. You play as an anthropomorphic animal, carry around like a samurai sword or a gun, and you try to kill each other and be the last one standing. It's pretty terrible, not gonna lie. It's I played one match and I was like, this is garbage, even for a free game.
Be careful what you say. Cody might say, well, now that you mentioned that, I actually interned with the
I interned.
I have a friend who knows a friend who might listen to this podcast.
I interned with the one guy.
Yeah, not getting me again. Nice try.
But yeah, so I don't think I'll ever really touch that again, honestly. Despite it, being free game, it might get some updates down the line. If I'm gonna play any sort of battle royale mode at this point, I'll probably just be, Warzone or whatever future iteration of that comes along with you guys. But yeah, that's honestly about it for me. So let's go into one of the, I guess, the mini topics of the show, Marvel's What If. So for this week's episode, after losing his girlfriend, just as a little bit of a synopsis for those listening, after losing his girlfriend, Dr. Christine Palmer, in a car crash, Dr. Stephen Strange travels to Kamartaj, sorry for pronunciation, and learns the mystic arts. He discovers the Eye of Agamotto, which can manipulate time. Okay. Which can manipulate but is warned by the Ancient One and Wong that doing so could destroy reality. 2 years later, Strange repeatedly attempts to use the eye to save Palmer, but she still dies in every single scenario. The Ancient One tells Strange that Palmer's death is an absolute point in the timeline that cannot be undone, but Strange refuses to listen. Using the power of Dark Dimension, the Ancient One splits Strange into two alternate versions. One Strange accepts Palmer's death, while the other discovers how to gain power by absorbing mystical beings, becoming Strange Supreme. The evil version overpowers the good Strange, absorbs them, and uses power to resurrect Palmer, tearing reality apart. Strange Supreme begs the Watcher for help, but he refuses to intervene. Palmer disintegrates and the universe collapses, leaving Strange to grieve alone. So, Tim, I know Doctor Strange is one of your favorites. So I'm really curious and have you start this conversation off. What'd you think?
Yeah, so I'm a big Doctor Strange fan. I have the thing on my wall over there that's like a comic book thing that's like made out of metal or whatever.
I'll get one of those from Iron Man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I really like him. I really like Doctor Strange. In fact, I'm probably going to be talking about him again a little bit later. I don't know a lot about the comic books or, all of Doctor Strange's powers, ironically. I just really like the movie, and Matt said that he thought I would like the character, and I do. I like the whole mystical time travel kind of thing that Doctor Strange kind of plays around in. My favorite show is Doctor Who. The episode, I thought this was my favorite one of the four that have been out, and depending on what happens to the other one, this might go down as my favorite one, which is a little bit sad because it's a very sad episode, because it deals more with the fact that, like as you said, that Doctor Strange loses his girlfriend, I think, or whatever, his love interest,
significant other, something,
love interest, and it's a fixed point in time. In this universe, it's a fixed point in time where that's how he becomes the Sorcerer Supreme. Whereas in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the one that we watched, he just gets in a car accident and he can't do surgery anymore with his hands. But in this universe, he loses his love and he snaps and turns evil. And essentially, they don't give the time frame, but like it was a long time that he was like absorbing other souls or whatever it was.
He mentioned it was centuries.
Yeah, it was a few hundred years or something like that he did that, and all in an effort to try to reverse an absolute point, which I like the whole absolute point thing. Doctor Who like kind of flirted with fixed points in time a little bit early on in the show, and then they were just like, we're not doing that anymore. So I actually like the whole idea of like there's certain moments in time in history that are absolute. This is what's always going to happen. You can't avoid it. Like forget her name. What was her name? You said in the recap. What was Dr.
Christina Palmer?
Yeah, like she's always going to die. Like it doesn't matter, because it didn't even matter if she was in the car or not. Like she would get shot at a restaurant, or like the hotel she was in blew up in one of the scenes. Like it didn't matter what he did. That in this universe, that's what had to happen. I also liked that the Watcher was a little bit more of a character in this episode, because Doctor Strange talks to him. And I watched a Watch Mojo thing about 10 Easter eggs from episode 4, or 10 things you didn't know about Doctor Strange from episode 4. It was one of those kind of things, and apparently that's not the only time that Doctor Strange has ever talked to the Watcher before, so it's canon that he can do that. So even the current Doctor Strange in this MCU could do that if he wanted to. So yeah, I'm interested because it seems like Doctor Strange is going to be playing a much bigger role in the MCU going forward, because he's in Spider-Man and he has his own movie with other things going on. And obviously Benedict Cumberbatch is great. He voices a different character in this whole thing. But I thought it was a great episode. Like I said, it is probably my favorite of the four. What do you guys think?
If kind of a side note, but if I remember correctly, I know in one Marvel movie you actually see like live action Watchers because it was also a Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah,
I
he
just
Yeah,
did.
can't remember which movie.
I think it's like not Infinity War.
Mm,
Ultron.
It may be Ultron.
Yeah,
sure.
I think
Yeah.
I thought it was one of the Avengers one. That was the cameo.
I kind of
Maybe
feel like it was
Guardians.
either. I was thinking either Guardians or Ragnarok, but I'm not sure.
One of those two. It's one of those ones that takes place in like space, kind of.
I like the episode too. I still think the Black Panther one, or I guess that's not accurate, but the T'Challa one was my favorite. This one's definitely second. Huh?
No, good. I said he was in it. It's Black Panther.
Yeah, but I guess he never technically got the mantle of Black Panther in that.
Sure,
but,
sure.
I did like this one had, more of an emotional story to it, where the rest have been like, haha, fish joke, you know.
The end.
But I'm glad that it, in a weird way, didn't have a happy ending, because that's just what you're used to seeing with Marvel stuff, except for like Infinity War, maybe.
Yeah,
Not really.
I'm interested because like technically that I guess like he's in like a pocket kind of like small universe. It's just him sitting in there. That's what the end of the episode implies. And I was just kind of like, I wonder if he can get out of there, and we'll see him again.
I think it would be cool to see well, if she's always gonna die in this story, what if like what if our Doctor Strange like kept trying to like go back and make it to where he didn't lose his hands at first or something, which I guess wouldn't really affect him that much because he gets the powers anyway.
Yeah.
She doesn't actually die in Doctor Strange though, right?
No.
Remember,
I didn't think so.
I did think they like reconciled.
he's alone. I'm pretty sure he's alone in that car in the actual movie.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
Because I think that's when that crash happens.
I'm pretty sure he's
Which is weird, because like the crash happens and like she dies, but yet his hands in that episode are they're fine. They could have at least gotten hurting as well.
Yeah,
I think that was the what if. Like the beginning was like, what if he didn't hurt his hands? He didn't lose his hands. He lost his heart.
Yeah, it's what if Doctor Strange didn't lose his hands? He lost his heart.
I feel like just nitpicking. I need to watch the movie and then watch the episode. Be like, if he crashed in that exact same spot, his hands should have been hurt and she should have survived. I don't believe it.
What did y'all two think of it?
Cody?
Yeah, it's definitely number 2 for me. The T'Challa episode was number 1 for sure. It was really good though. I don't really consider the pre episode 3 to have a happy ending either. Really, I mean, like literally all of them died except for like Strange.
I guess 3 kind of gives it a more like there's still hope type of ending.
Kinda, yeah, I guess.
Whereas this one's like, no.
This one was just like, yeah, no. He's literally just stuck on some asphalt for the rest of eternity. Alone.
And he probably can't die anymore, so he's really just stuck there.
Yeah, so.
Which is why I wonder if he's going to, like, Benedict Cumberbatch is going to, like, show up and fight himself again. Because, like, maybe if he has all eternity just in that little patch of asphalt, maybe he can find a way out of it. He's the Supreme Sorcerer or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Strange Supreme. That's what it was. Which sounds like a pizza.
Seriously, it sounds like an item at Taco
Bell.
Bell.
Really bad pizza or something.
Can I get the Strange Supreme?
Like, you don't want that, buddy.
Yeah, it's pretty strange. No, I enjoyed it. It was nice to see, like, I guess, just the different scenario. But I don't really know how I felt about the whole, like, the old Sorcerer Supreme came forward in time, but not really, and then split him into 2, and
the ancient one.
Yeah, the ancient one. That was a little kooky for me. But I mean, I enjoyed the story, but I think that's what killed it as far as like it being my favorite. Like it was just kind of like, I don't really get it, but sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I'm glad that Benedict Cumberbatch actually voiced it. I know that they've gotten most of the actors to voice their characters so far. Like, I know Chadwick Boseman recorded 3 episodes as T'Challa. I think the only ones that haven't been voiced is like Peter Quill and Steve Rogers and Black Widow. I think they were the only ones. No.
I don't know if Iron Man ever talked in that Avengers one, but I don't. If he did, I don't think it was.
It probably
Robert
wasn't
Downey.
RDJ, but he did talk.
Yeah.
Well, if it wasn't RDJ, they did a pretty good job.
They did a really good job, yeah. I'll look it up while Christian tells us what he thought.
Yeah, so I mean, the one with T'Challa becoming the front runner of Guardians of the Galaxy was definitely my favorite for this exact same reasons that this was Tim's favorite. And Guardians of the Galaxy, I mean, we can talk about this a little bit more later on at the end of the podcast today, but Guardians of the Galaxy is one of my favorite franchises in the Marvel universe and the MCU so far. And so just having another excuse to go back into that world with those characters, especially in that episode where it explored characters that were kind of not even really part of like the team in the movies, with the exception of Yondu. Yeah, so like that one was definitely my favorite. I thought this one was cool. I liked the way it went. And like Steven said, I kind of liked that it ended on not necessarily a happy note. Just because I think that like it's neat that all these like, what if scenarios very well could have happened given, a couple minor tweaks to the timeline. So I'll definitely be curious to see what happens next with the zombies. And how many more are there? I don't think I even know.
8?
I think it was 8 or 9.
Okay.
Real quick, not to interrupt. Mick Wingert was the guy that voices Iron Man for 4 episodes.
That just sounds like an order I would make.
And
yeah, can I get the McWinger?
Drax wasn't Dave
It's a
Bautista.
McDonald's.
Drax was a guy named Fred Tatascari.
I definitely remember the Batista thing now that you mentioned it, because I remember seeing some kind of article. He was like, yeah, I wasn't asked to come back as Batista. I'm like, making a big deal about it. And I'm like, that's fine, because he talked like 3 words. And that's it.
Yeah. Karen Gillian did do Nebula.
Yeah.
Shout out to Doctor Who people.
Christine Palmer was Rachel McAdams. Yondu was Michael Rooker. The guy that Benedict Wong was Wong.
They worked real hard on his name.
Yeah. It looks
Although
like
Wong's probably like an actual character from the comic book, and it just so happens that his name is.
It looks like almost literally everyone that's a main character was voiced by their actor.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There's just
Cool.
like a handful.
Well,
so that's pretty awesome.
I thought it was really cool. I thought it was cool that Doctor Strange fought Doctor Strange, personally.
Yeah. Anything else to add, guys, before we move on?
It was a very Dragon Ball Z-esque fight at a few points. They were just firing energy blasts out of their hands.
The part where the 2 capes were fighting just made me think of Magic Carpet from Aladdin.
Yeah.
That was actually probably like, I don't know, intentionally hilarious to me was the 2 capes were fighting each other.
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot the cape had a
Burnham.
personality, because the cape does have a personality, because even in Doctor Strange, like it like floats in the air before he puts it on him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to our, main topic of the show today, which is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, a movie I was personally really excited for since the beginning of the year, when we did our little Metacritic predictions list that kind of, faded away to nothing.
Look at that.
So I'm happy this movie is now out, and I really, really loved and enjoyed going to see it, and introducing the newest Avenger that's probably going to be around for at least a bit, in MCU's Phase 4, if not further beyond that. So in this movie, it's Shang-Chi. Well, I'll do another spoiler warning for everyone out there, just so you know.
Just to make sure that, in case anybody missed the first one.
Yeah, in case anyone missed that really, intense disclaimer at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes people just aren't paying attention sometimes. And, they miss some things. And
in case you're wondering what we're all being really passive about, we had to stop the episode halfway through what we were talking about at some point.
But they don't know that because you edited it.
Yeah, they don't. You have no idea. But me and Tim both just missed his spoiler warning at the beginning, and now he's just giving us crap about it. So that's what this is.
Anywho, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings centers around a hotel valet, Shang-Chi, however you want to say it. I'm an
It's
interchange at this
Shang-Chi.
point. So, I mean, I know that's the correct way. I'm just saying I've said it Shang-Chi for so long that I don't think I'm going to be able to stop myself every single time.
Potato.
Yeah. As he is forced to return home to fight the demons of his past, including his father and the leader of the powerful Ten Rings organization. With his father as the film's antagonist, the deep family tension between him, Shang-Chi, and his sister helps create the driving force for a overall very funny and intense movie. A lot of the comedy moments throughout the film, typical for the MCU, was brought to you by the sidekick Katie, as well as what I thought was great with oh my gosh, what's the actor that plays Trevor Slattery?
Ben Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley plays Trevor Slattery, played the fake Mandarin back in Iron Man 3, came back up. A little bit of backstory on that. There was like a Marvel one-shot short film thing or whatever. Steven, I think you said it was like a short that was included in the Iron Man 3 Blu-ray, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Because I had definitely seen it before.
Okay. And it was really weird. Like the day before I went to see this movie, turned on Disney Plus, and it was like, hey, you should probably watch this. And I was like, I don't even know what this is. It was like a 10-minute clip, and it was about this guy from the Ten Ring organization interviewing Trevor Slattery and getting mad at him and taking him hostage, breaking him out of prison, and then bringing him back to the Ten Rings base and keeping him captive until you see him in Shang-Chi. So that was really cool that was actually canon, and that was back in 2014, and here we are 7 years later, and it was actually canon. So I thought that was really cool. There are a couple of notable cameos throughout the film, including Wong at a few moments throughout it. And then Doctor Strange, Wong from Doctor Strange, Bruce Banner, and Captain Marvel popped up briefly in a post-credits end scene discussing the origin and the hidden powers of the Ten Rings. So to switch it up, the order, let's start off with you, Cody. What were your overall impressions of the film?
It's easily, I mean, again, we'll talk about this in a little bit, but easily my new favorite Marvel movie. I thought it was fantastic. It's still weird. Like, I thought the whole movie was amazing, but I still can't stop talking about the bus fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was so good. It was so
First
well
of all,
done.
It was long. Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't like just your typical Marvel fight kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was like a good 15 minutes
Yeah.
of like fighting on a bus.
And it was really well done.
Soundtrack, the kung fu fight, it all was there.
No, I really enjoyed it. I still have gripes with it. Like, even though it's
like something and critique it,
yeah. I don't have anything against Aquafina, but she was just like she was just there.
Comic relief until Trevor Slattery came in.
I have issue. I'm sure they'll explain it, but I have issue that it was Bruce Banner not in Hulk Bruce form, Professor Hulk or whatever.
I think that probably is going to tie into the She-Hulk series.
I'm sure.
Maybe even he's not in Guardians. No, never mind.
No. That kind of was like meh. But really, like, I think I ranted to Christian a little bit about this. Like, so in the movie when he meets his aunt and she's like all airbending and everything, and she like it's like they set it up like it's like, I'm gonna tell you what you need to do. Like, you need to accept yourself, and then I'll teach you how to airbend. And then he's like, okay. And then he goes and pouts on a rock, and Aquafina walks over, and he's like, I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm just gonna kill him. And then like just does the opposite, but then does it anyway. Just does a little airbending move when he fights his dad and takes over the rings like his mom did. And it's just like, oh, cool. You didn't learn anything, but you just know how to do it. It's fine. That's fine. My only big gripe for the movie.
He gazed into the dragon's eyes and he told him everything he needed to know.
He breathed his bubbles and was like, inner peace. But like, other than that, it was fantastic. Like, I didn't expect as many people to die at that end fight as did. Like,
it's a good thing that thing's dead because there's nobody to protect it anymore.
Like, I genuinely expected when they killed the thing that all the souls were gonna get like released.
I did too.
And then it didn't happen, and I was like, oh, the old man that she was just immediately attached to he's just dead. Like, I don't know, one, why she didn't shoot the demon that had his soul.
Panic.
Just like, but nailed that thing in the neck. Just spot on. Yeah, no, so many people died that I did not expect them to just be permadead. I expected, some miraculous soul returnal.
They're all still alive, so that'll bring in some great further backstory, I'm sure, in the whatever future sequel comes along.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Just minor continuity things bug me, but that bugs me in almost anything I watch. Like The Walking Dead, for instance, like watching season 1, like in the very first few episodes, there are zombies that like pick up rocks to break windows and can open doors, and shit like that. But they can't do that no more. So
yeah,
just little things bug me.
Steven, you want to win?
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same. Not the same gripes, but the same as like it's a really good movie. Like it's fantastic. Like I will say, I honestly I didn't pay attention to this movie at all until they started releasing the trailers.
Same.
Like, because I said I don't really know Shang-Chi. I'm sure I'll be interested once I see the movie, but as for now, I don't know. But I mean, back to the bus scene, like the whole thing was just fantastic. Like you said, the choreography, the soundtrack, the little Jackie Chan nods, like it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was so well done.
It was cool seeing the whole little arena place, like the little Easter eggs there, like the extremist soldier fighting the Black Widow and the Abomination, of course.
Which looked very different.
Yeah, apparently it's more comic accurate now, but I don't know.
You're talking about like it's like the Golden Dagger, right? Like that fight ring.
Yeah,
yeah. His sister.
Yeah.
I will say when it came his turn to fight, I expected that to be a little more flashier.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes up for it since they did the whole side of the building thing, like right after it. So they probably didn't want to get too into it. I kind of feel the same way about Awkwafina. Like I don't typically. Well, I mean, I've seen some of her stuff. Like I can't say I don't think she's that funny, but I mean, I didn't really have a general issue with her in this movie like I thought I might.
I don't know. I didn't have a problem with her. Like, I don't know that I've seen her in much of anything really outside of
I've seen her show a few episodes. I saw her in Raya. I mean, but it's an entirely different beast.
Yeah. She was good in Jumanji.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
I mean, she was acting as
I get who she is now.
What's her face? Or what's his face?
Yeah.
It's Always Sunny. I can't remember his name.
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito, thank you. Yeah, she did really well. Yeah, I don't know.
What was I gonna say? Crap.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I legitimately just lost my thought though.
It's all right. We can come back to it if you want to think on it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Tim, you want to share your thoughts?
Yeah. So I didn't even know Shang-Chi was a thing until we were doing this podcast and you, Christian, brought it up. And I was like, what are you even talking about? What is Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi or whatever you want to call it? And I went into this movie with zero expectations. I was like, we'll see what this is. I don't know what this is going to be like. I'm low-key a big fan of like kung fu movies. Like I like Muscle and Raid Redemption and whatnot.
Dude,
but
Raid.
Yeah, that movie's great. And but the one thing that's always kind of missing about them is that they always seem kind of low budget. So like this is what it's like, hey, we're Marvel and we're gonna make a kung fu action superhero movie. And I was like an 11-year-old kid in that movie theater, man. I was like, this is the best thing I've seen since I watched like The Matrix. I think.
Yeah,
Like this is
it gave me some
so
real,
cool.
some real Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon vibes.
Yeah, I even said that I was like, this is like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon meets like Doctor Strange.
It was really nice seeing that actress from that movie as well, because I haven't seen her in anything in a long time.
Yeah,
His aunt.
Yeah.
I thought the whole movie was pretty well good. You know, it might have had some little continuity issues here and there, but like for the most part, it made sense. I mean, you know, at the beginning of the movie that like at the end of this movie, Shang-Chi is going to be getting the 10 rings because you know that's the whole purpose of that's where he gets his like power or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool that he's going to be like he's officially made like the first new Avenger for the Marvel universe going forward. And I think that's really awesome. And I think the person who played him, I'm sorry, I don't know his name off the top of my head, did a really, really good job. I didn't have a problem with Aquafina at all, except for one part, and this is what kind of bugs me. At the end of the movie, the Wong comes through the portal, right? And he was like, you have the rings. Come on. And you can kind of shoot a bow, right? You can come too, because we need you for the future.
Yeah, I didn't understand what she was needed for, because he was really just
why
like,
do you need her? She can barely shoot a bow and arrow.
Yeah, he's like, Shang-Chi? And then he's like, yeah, come, you're needed. You too. And I was like, why?
I guess if he didn't say that, Shang-Chi could just been like, can she come? He's like, okay.
Maybe it's that simple. Maybe he was just like, yeah, I know you're gonna want to bring her too. Come on.
Yeah.
I think what I was gonna say was that like I also like that this this honestly felt like it wasn't even a Marvel movie if they didn't pepper in a few like references.
Like it wasn't for the fact that like they had like other references in there, and you know the whole point at the end is that he joins and becomes an Avenger. It would not have felt like a Marvel movie.
Yeah, like me and Cody saw it together, and then two of my other friends went with us, and one of them isn't like caught up on any of the Disney Plus series or anything. He's like, "Is this gonna spoil it?" I was like, "Honestly, I don't know," but that didn't spoil any movie in the MCU.
Nope.
Like
maybe Iron Man 3.
Yeah, maybe that.
Yeah, maybe with when Tony
it's true
shows up, whatever his name.
That and it like very, very subtle references to the whole blip thing, but like it didn't spoil anything.
Nope. And like that's the cool part about it is that this movie can really stand on its own. It doesn't like you should watch it. You should totally watch it. Don't just skip it because it's not a continuity kind of thing with the Marvel movies.
To be honest, the Eternals trailer spoiled more than Shang-Chi did.
I could see this as like the like Iron Man 1 of this like whole new
I could totally see
Marvel
that
era.
For sure.
I could totally see that.
Yeah, that dude, Christian, sorry.
No, you're fine, man. I'm in agreement, I think, with pretty much everyone here. It's shots at the top of my MCU short list of, you know, favorite films. I think one of the reasons why I thought it was so great is very similar to why I thought Black Panther was so great and so successful, is that they really dived into a particular nation's culture and like really brought that prevalent into the film and brought all of it in there. So like towards the end of the movie, Talo, is that how you say it? The like mystical
it's Talo.
Place that they end up in. They have like the final battle, and you know you see a nod to like, you know, the figurehead Stonehead Lion, you know, is actually walking around and his umbrella looks really cool. You actually have the Nine Tails in there. The Phoenix pops up briefly. It's I guess like a warning sign, like when intruders are coming in, they catch on fire. Travis Slatter's like, that bird's on fire. But anyway, so I really appreciated it through that lens, and like that they brought that in and made it a lot more interesting into that regard, rather than just like the recycling the same old MCU formula of just it's another superhero movie where they've got, you know, whatever power, and then they've just assembled this team of, you know,
kind of speaking on that formula. I'm extremely glad there was not any kind of love connection between the main character.
They tried to.
They
got really excited when she took her shirt off.
they tried, but then they're like, no, we're not doing that. And I'm like, thank you. Like the mom and dad romance is fine, of course, but like I'm glad they didn't push something like that, because it didn't need it.
I thought it was implied that they were together at the end of the movie.
They tried to imply it, I think. Like, I don't know that it's actually what
I don't think
happened.
they say it, but like I think the implication is that
They definitely implied that they were like super close, like from the get go. And then when the grandmother was like, "When are you gonna propose to her?" or whatever.
If they want to do that in like Shang-Chi too, that's fine. I'm just glad they didn't do it in this one
Yeah.
because this felt more like an origin story rather than like a, oh, I gotta do this for the person I love type thing.
Yeah.
True. I mean, if you're liking it to like Iron Man, like this movie's Iron Man. I mean, it took like 2 or 3 movies for Tony Stark and
Yeah.
Thanos to get together.
Yeah, I will say that they have one of those relationships that is that they're so close that like if at any moment they're just casually like, yeah, we're together now. Be like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, like if they in the movie would be like, yeah, we're together now. Like that's kind of how I want it to be. Like, yeah, we're together. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to have like big emotional scenes. It's no, we're together.
Yeah.
So guys, let's do a round robin here. What would you give this movie out of 10?
10.
Cody?
10.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Sorry.
So it's a unanimous all at once.
I
10.
didn't say 10, but
Oh, Tim, thank you. What were we saying?
no, I'd give it 10. I just didn't say anything. And you said it's unanimous. And I was like, you asked me.
I just heard multiple people say 10, and I just assumed that it was everyone just shouting 10 at me. So I thought that's what.
Oh, I didn't say it was 10. What is it? A 10.
I mean, 10 out of 10 is kind of probably a little bit over exaggeration. It's at least a 9 or 9.5. It's pretty close to 10. So I'd say 10 because everyone else did.
It's a 10.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of in that ballpark. I think I would 9.5, borderline 10.
Yeah.
So,
But there's just like it. The only reason it's not a 10 would be for like nitpicky reasons, and I'm just gonna do that. So it's a 10.
I have a lot of nitpicky reasons, but I'm still giving it a 10.
Speaking of movies that we really like, how about let's switch not really too much into a different conversation of what are our top 3 Marvel movies thus far in the MCU. So this doesn't necessarily have to be, first one you mentioned is like your absolute favorite, and then second and third. It could just be your top 3. If it's 3 that's all tied for first place, that's fine too. Just the first 3 that come to mind.
Now, are we strictly doing MCU?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, thank God.
It makes it a little
That's way easier. I was like, if we're doing movies of all time, that's another episode.
Yeah.
MCU. It's MCU. Yeah.
For me, I'd say in no particular order, definitely Shang-Chi for sure. Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and then Avengers: Infinity War.
Okay.
I thought about Iron Man too, but I was like, Infinity War is amazing. Like, I like Infinity War a lot better than Endgame.
Really?
Personally.
Even though it ends terribly.
Yeah. Yeah. See you later, everybody.
Yeah. Thanos wins. That's the one I like.
It's like, oh, I don't care about you. I don't care about. Oh no, not you.
Cody.
Shang-Chi for sure. Thor Ragnarok and Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Oh,
those are my 3. What about you, Tim?
It's Shang-Chi.
Actually,
it's pronounced manga.
Ragnarok, also with Cody. I love Thor Ragnarok. And Doctor Strange.
Okay. You said the first one you mentioned was Shang-Chi, right?
Yeah. Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi.
So if that speaks to the level of quality of this movie, all 4 of us. So yeah, I'll actually just give you my order.
Like there's a case it could be number 1 for me, but I think you said pre-stream, like it could just be like because it's so fresh in my head.
Yeah. As of right now, it is my number 1.
And you're right, it might honestly just be because we're fresh off of it. But if I were to rate right now in order, Shang-Chi would be number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy number 1 would be my number 2, and 3. It's really close between the original Iron Man and Endgame for me.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Iron Man I just loved as like it was the first like big origin story for the MCU that we all love for nowadays. Endgame was like the only movie in a really long time where I just like was so happy and also extremely sad And it's like it's a superhero movie. Like I don't like I've seen so many like sappy like movies that like are supposed to make you cry, and like I think this is actually the only one that I can think of off the top of my head that I've seen in the past couple of years that actually kind of made me tear up.
Maybe that's why I don't like Endgame as much, because Iron Man is my favorite superhero.
He
And,
does.
Damn.
yeah.
See, like
And I think there's somebody else that dies in there. I don't know. I can't remember.
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
All right.
We forgot about her, just like
They-
Disney.
They should have killed her. Like,
Anyway, the only reason I didn't say in-game, right? Because I do think that like it might be up there in the top 3, but I feel like the only reason it is because of the movies before it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I didn't pick any Avengers movies for me personally, because like Avengers movies is a combination of a bunch of other movies, so it's kind of an unfair advantage if I pick one, in my opinion.
Right. That's why I didn't pick one.
I'll say if we're going off that logic, I'll replace Infinity War with Iron Man 2.
Okay.
But
I mean, you can have your
you
own
can
list.
have-
no. I just like to have the options. I think I like Infinity War over Endgame more, just because like Infinity War just had so many moments that just made me like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like the thing with Thanos throwing the planet or the moon at Iron Man.
That was really cool. Yeah.
And then Thor just showing up, like it was just one of the greatest scenes of any Marvel movie ever.
I agree with you full-heartedly. The one thing to this day that still bothers me about Infinity War is Thor's arc had no point. Like that, it bothered me so much because I'm like, this is really cool. Peter Dinklage is a giant. He's gonna make a cool axe, and they're gonna go kill Thanos. And it took up like a third of the movie, and then he showed up, and they were like, nope, should have gone for the head, and then failed.
And see, like I think Endgame is better than Infinity War. Simply, like I feel like it was way more emotional, even though like everyone died right in Infinity War, but like we knew that wasn't going to be
there was a sequel. Yeah.
So like it wasn't going to be permanent. They just introduced Spider-Man to the MCU.
That was the other problem with my thing with Infinity War, is like all the people that got snapped
had confirmed sequels.
People that were going forward in the MCU. I was like, there's another Doctor Strange movie. There's another Black Panther movie. The next movie out is Spider-Man after Endgame. Like,
yeah.
I know they didn't make anything official until after Endgame officially came out, but they were already in talks for doing all these things.
Yeah. There were confirmed sequels. Like Spider-Man was a confirmed sequel. Black Widow.
I'm pretty sure
Doctor Strange was a confirmed. Yeah. So it was like, okay.
Well, everyone that got dusted is coming back in some form because like all these movies going forward, they just killed off all their characters. So either they lied about everything that was announced, or this is going to be undone in some way.
So there was that, but I personally thought that when Cap picked up the hammer was such a big moment for me, and like the theater I was in, like it was a screening, but it was a packed screening, and like everyone lost it when he picked that hammer up.
Yeah,
I mean that was huge.
That's going to go down in cinematic history as one of the best cinematic.
That and when like Sam's like on your left, and then all the like Avenger army shows up. But like I still have gripes with even Cap picking up the hammer, because like I feel like I don't know. Should he have been able to use the lightning and stuff? Like, wasn't that like Thor's specific thing?
Well, whoever picks up the hammer gets the power of Thor.
Yeah, I guess so. That's
but they
fair.
said that in the very first movie, whoever holds his hammer, if they be worthy, can have the power of Thor. Which kind of makes you believe that Thor shouldn't be able to use the lightning then.
Right.
I was gonna say they kind of like undo. Like you're right, that is the thing that I'm pretty sure it's like inscribed on the side of the hammer, or like the secret writing or whatever. But like in Thor 4, they kind of like undo that because they're like, "Are you Thor, the god of hammers? No, you're Thor, god of thunder."
Right.
So
because he totally uses the lightning without the hammer in Ragnarok.
Glowy eyes.
Yeah.
Because he gets all glowy, and they missed a huge opportunity and didn't play Thunderstruck, which just bothers me on so many levels. yeah, I don't know, like, because I mean, obviously he had what's the axe called?
Stormbreaker?
Stormbreaker,
Stormbreaker, yeah.
and they essentially have the exact same abilities because like at one point they like accidentally switched.
Yeah, I know Stormbreaker has the power to like summon the Bifrost, and he can like teleport across the galaxy just using that.
Yeah. Also,
and
Thanos totally wielded Stormbreaker at one point. Like
Did he?
he had it and was pushing it into Thor's chest.
Yeah, in Endgame when before he picks the hammer up and throws at him.
So is Thanos worthy? Like, I don't know if that does it have the same rules.
Well,
it's just the hammer that has those rules, I believe. Stormbreaker doesn't have the rules.
I mean,
because Odin
yeah,
was
but
at the hammer and then he throws it in after Thor in the movie.
Yeah, but if we're just talking about him pushing Stormbreaker in, then he's technically not lifting it. He's just kind of like
that's
putting
fair.
pressure on
That's
it.
fair.
Yeah.
I guess the only other thing, but yeah, gripe wise, like with all of the movies, right? Vibranium is supposed to be this like unbreakable, ridiculous metal, and Thanos chops up the shield.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Thanos is pretty strong.
Yeah, but like,
well, I think
his strength is so inconsistent throughout the films. Like in the comics, he's supposed to be like powerful enough to kill them all without the stones. Period.
Yeah.
Like he's supposed to be as strong or a little bit stronger than the Hulk and be able to wipe them all out without the stones. But then
you're talking about like a 1v1 situation with any of them? Yeah.
I feel like if Thanos fought the Avengers how they were in the first movie, he probably would have won.
Yeah.
But going up against literally everybody and their mama
sure.
in Endgame.
Yeah. No, he needed the stones. But like,
I mean,
that
I guess
sword,
he also had his army though, so.
Yeah, but I'm talking just straight physics with the sword and the shield that's supposed to be like indestructible and can take hits from Thor's hammer.
Well, I think with Vibranium, I don't know because I don't read the comics, so don't at me. Anybody that listens to this, I think it's supposed to be the most powerful substance on Earth. I don't know about the galaxy or the universe.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know because like even in the
vibranium came from space though.
Yeah, so
maybe the sword was made of vibranium. They never really said whether it was or wasn't.
Yes, that if they ever, I mean, they won't because Thanos is gone, so we'll never know. But like
maybe he's gone.
I mean, we might see a what if version of him again. Yeah.
I was gonna say there's that what if series or episode where Gamora is wielding that same sword, so maybe they'll talk about it in there.
Oh, that would be nice actually if they touched on that, guys. I forgot about that because like it's always bothered me.
It'll start out. She'll be holding it. Somebody will be like, "Hey, does that break vibranium?" She's like, and then she's like, "Yeah, sometimes."
It's like, and with my dual vibranium sword.
Yeah,
depends on how angry I am when I'm using it.
Or how mad I am.
Because even in the Eternals trailer, when he breaks dude's table in half, he's like, "You probably have a sweet like, safe house. What's his table made of? Vibranium?" And even he smacks it, knowing that vibranium's not going to break, and then snaps the table in half. So like, I just
I don't know.
If he's that strong, he didn't need the stones. That's all I'm saying.
However, I need to say something real quick, and it's going to be a huge weight off my chest if I'm being quite honest with you guys.
I feel like you're hyping up nothing, but go for it.
I'm not hyping up nothing. This is a major announcement I'm about to be making.
Yep.
With the release of Shang-Chi, I need to clarify something that Iron Man 3 is now not the worst movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because they finally did something to pay off the fact that this dude was the Mandarin in Iron Man 3.
Okay.
So 7 years later, after this movie came out, it is now no longer the worst movie. It's just slightly above what is now the worst movie for me, which is Thor: Dark World.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty major announcement because I've said for years that Iron Man 3 is terrible. But after I walked out of that movie, I was like, you know what? Iron Man 3 is not as terrible anymore because they finally paid that off.
Maybe next time we can do our top 3 or at least favorite 3 or something.
Our
like
bottom
that.
3.
Oh, that's
Bottom
a
three.
really easy list for me.
Iron Man 3, Thor: Dark World.
I'd have to think about that.
It's
one.
Iron Man 2, Thor: Dark World, and
The third one. Probably the first Captain America movie. That was
I was
boring.
gonna say it's either Captain America, but I mean I did like that, or it's Iron Man 3.
It's Iron Man 3. For
Because
me,
like
it's-
I like Iron Man 3, I really did, but like in terms of like all of them, yeah, it's probably down there.
or Hulk. Was that Hulk count?
See, I don't know.
And-
They keep
no.
referencing it like it is like the events happened.
The Incredible Hulk is MCU, but Hulk isn't.
Yeah.
All right, well then Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 3, Thor: Dark World. But anyway,
Yeah,
Iron Man
think
3 is not
about
the worst
that
movie
one.
anymore.
Anywho, I think that's going to wrap up this week's episode of Some Kind of Podcast. I'm kind of excited for next week, though. I hope you guys tune in to.
All 4 of us will be
Or
together
no.
for the first time in like what 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm
it's been a while.
dreading it. I'm dreading it.
Just don't think about it until the day of, and then it'll be fine. So yeah, join us for Toasty Tues. It'll probably be one of the worst days of our life, but also fun. So yeah, maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Can't wait to have some fun while I'm crying. Like the Potter all over again.
If you'd like to reach out to us, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter at SKO Entertainers, or visit our website skoentertainment.net, which
we don't
as
do
Tim
anything
mentioned
with.
last week.
I'll just say it if we're just going to take shots at the website.
Hey, I didn't mean that in a negative way. I was just stating a fact.
Wow.
But finally, don't forget to join us next week, because even on the best of days, we all need some kind of entertainment. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Adios.
See ya.